this stuff doesn't come up in conversation, never mentioned on a podcast. I want to help people experience an extraordinary quality of life. And we realize just how much of so many of the things that are stressing us out exist in the activity of the mind. Vic, there's someone behind you. I know I can do this. I don't want to. What's so special about it is how simple it is.
In today's episode, you're going to hear me chat with a dear friend, Zack Bodenweber. He is a coach, an incredible writer. He is an artist, and honestly, he's just a magical human. Like, I feel so grateful to have a Zack in my life. I really think everyone needs a Zack in their life, and he shares the wisdom that he has gained through his lived experience of how he's actually managed to step away from this fear-based living that keeps us stuck and reconnect with the truth of who we really are as a way to guide him forward. I mean, there is no way to summarize everything he's got to share, because it's almost like this channeled transmission that you just need to receive for yourself. So get cozy, enjoy the episode. I'll see you inside. Welcome to Resonance, a podcast for ambitious, heart-led humans craving more balance, depth, and aliveness in their lives. I'm your host, Vic, health coach, yoga teacher, facilitator, and fellow high achiever, learning to live in tune with my nervous system, not against it. And this space is here to remind you that you can have it all. The career, the success, the fulfillment, all aligned with your truth. Through honest conversations, expert insights, and practical tools, we'll explore how to work with your body, mind, emotions, and spirit, not against them. And the best part, you don't have to stay stuck in survival mode to get there. Because true well-being is not about being perfect. It's about being in resonance. Let's dive in. Okay, so a quick intro to Zack. I actually first ever heard of Zack when I joined the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. He was their kind of head coach. He was on all the videos. I was like, oh, well, he seems like a nice person. But also he taught me basically a lot of what I know about coaching today. And somehow synchronicities came into play and we connected over shared values, shared curiosities, and the open mind to be a lifelong learner and explore this vast, complex nature of our existence. That's actually quite simple. We just tend to make it complex. So today is really going to be quite powerful for especially those of you who feel quite stuck and like you don't know where to get started. Zack is both, of course, a coach, a writer, an artist, incredible human, and he also has experience as a licensed social worker, having worked in kind of the medical field more so. And so he's got this really unique, powerful perspective of where to begin to start to shift your reality. And when things feel like a little bit too much, he's got the solution for you. And you'll be amazed at actually how simple it is. And so with that in mind, enjoy. I am so excited to bring this to the world. Oh, and by the way, before we dive into the episode, you'll notice that Zack and I just start off bantering and chit-chatting at the start. Please listen in, because honestly, like, this is actually the really real, like the truth of who we are and our dynamic. Actually, there isn't much more in life that can top that meaningful, authentic connection. So yeah, really, I hope you dive in, enjoy, soak up all the goodness, and I look forward to hearing your thoughts. I'll find a sneaky way to weave it in at some point.
I actually do enjoy meditating with and doing that. I was doing that in the steam room earlier today,
Ooh,
and
nice.
and I'm, oh, and it's reverberating off all the walls because it's the steam room. And
Mm-hmm.
another gentleman comes in, and I'm sorry about that. He goes, no, please continue. He goes, that's
Oh,
great. He goes, that's why I came in here. I was like, all right, let's do it.
oh my gosh, yes.
It
Let's
was
on
really,
together.
it was cool. It was cool. Yeah.
Wow. I love that.
So,
Have you tried
so
it in an
just,
ice bath? Because like
no,
you're
I
freezing
haven't.
and then you get like the
I
water particles
haven't.
just buzzing.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't done an ice bath, like an intentional ice bath. I've gone in like really cold water before, but I haven't done like the cold plunging thing. But I really, yeah, I enjoy it.
Yeah, I love that.
I enjoy
I actually have it hanging just above me.
Do you?
Yeah, it's a little ohm. You probably can't quite see it, but
Yeah. Yeah, there's something really special about it.
I mean, it's just like the universal sound, then nothing
Yeah.
else, no big deal, you
No
know?
big deal.
Yeah.
Casual.
Gosh.
Humble flex.
Oh my
I'm
goodness, I
it's
love
like I'm
this.
just the
I'm so down
universal
for this.
sound. Whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever. That's
Primordial existence.
just like other sounds. Like, oh, that's cute. Your sound too. Okay.
Oh my gosh, I missed you so much. I wish I could give you a little cuddle and like just say hello
Yeah, yeah,
properly, you know, but
yeah.
this is like so special because this is the first time for me that I think we need to rename this podcast to Pillow Talk. Like that someone's
Oh,
dialing in
there you
with their
go.
pillows,
There you
PJs
go.
from bed. Like that is
Yeah,
so good.
that's a fun like theme, right? Like that's what we do here. We chat in our pajamas, make sure there's pillows involved, and that's it. That's the only prerequisite for
Mm.
this podcast.
Yeah. Well, there is
Mhm.
actually a podcast in New Zealand called Pillow Talk, but it's
Oh,
very much about pillow talk by I think she's a somatic sex coach. So,
oh,
but a different pillow talk than like what we're going to be talking
a little
about today.
bit,
But hey, who knows?
little bit, little bit. Vic, your plants are thriving. Look at
Thank
those.
you.
I just cannot
Thank
take my
you.
eyes off of how happy they look and how like just full of life they look.
Aw, thank
Like
you. That means a lot from you
like
because
look at them. That they have like a
this is
they are
new.
yeah, he is standing at attention. He is like, I am here for
He's
whatever we're doing.
growing a new one as well in there,
Yep.
and I've got another one. It's like,
Oh,
yeah,
it's the best.
popping.
When my fiddly fig, who is right over there,
Hi,
when
Fiddle.
yeah, that's Fred.
Oh, Fred,
And
sorry. I
it's okay.
apologize to
It's
Fred.
okay. Sorry, I just had to. No, she didn't mean it. He was picked on when he was younger. He was called Fiddle a lot. It's, that's all right. No, she knows your name is Fred. Okay. Yeah, so that's Fred, and I get so hyped for him when he is growing a new leaf. I'm like, you go, dude. And he's been growing them a lot recently. It must be the time of the year. There's like a growing season, I learned. And I'm just like, dude, yes. Come on, you
Yeah,
got this, buddy.
so
I went
good.
away for a few days, came back, like two new leaves. I'm like, let's go.
Oh my goodness. Like, talk about thriving right there,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
Fred, look, you can tell him that Kiwis tend to make up nicknames for people. So, just
Okay,
blame it on me. It's not him, it's me.
okay, okay.
Um, and it's funny that you say that my plants are thriving because literally, as I was kind of like setting everything up this morning, I was like, oh, right here now it's winter.
Mhm,
So the heater's blasting, and they're like,
mhm,
we're drying out. Please
mhm.
stop. It's so hot.
Yeah,
Um, so if they're thriving, like in my eye, I'm like, oh, I can't wait for the weather to stabilize so they can, be happy again. And just imagine what it's
absolutely.
like then.
I can't imagine. We're gonna have to do another podcast just so I could see them.
Oh, twist my
And
arm.
yeah, yeah. Do you
Yeah.
miss them? Do you miss them?
The plants?
Yeah.
Like, actually, I do when I go away because I
Mhm.
don't trust people with my plants.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I have a really bad experience with one of our friends he was, looking after Piper, so he kept her alive. That was good.
Great. It's a great start in the order of priorities, like dog,
Yeah. You'd hope
plants.
so.
They're
You'd hope
there,
so.
but yeah.
Yeah. But like, I kid you not, we left him with like a whole Magna Carta
Oh my
of
God.
like all like Piper's commands and
Hmm.
all the things. And then there was a
Hmm.
couple pages in the appendix about
Oh,
plant care.
oh no.
Oh, they were so sad, Zach.
Oh no.
I came back and they were inches from
Hmm.
withering away. And I had a
Hmm.
little veggie garden out the back.
Hmm.
He
No.
forgot about it
You forgot the veggie garden was
in
there?
peak summer.
Oh no.
That's it. No more veggie garden. I gave up. There was no point.
That was it. Yep.
It
Yep.
was
You're like, I'm
gone.
going to the farmer's market. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. Well, I'm not, listen, I'm not casting any blame or judgment, but why were the plants in the appendix?
Look,
Hmm?
as you say, priority order,
Yeah.
Piper. It was Piper's Magna Carta. It wasn't
But-
Vic's plant Magna Carta.
Okay, so this whole thing was about Piper.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought like Piper and then a whole bunch of other things, and the plants were kind of thrown in somewhere. It was Piper. That was Piper's document. That was
Yeah. Her
Piper's
face was on the
dossier.
front page.
Yep. Yep. This is Piper.
And I
Um,
have to tell you this, we had to update it as well because
uh-huh.
we had someone else looking after Piper a few months later, and
Yeah.
she knows her toys by name. So I
Oh
had
my
to
gosh.
pull together like this little graph with every
Like a
toy
face
and the
sheet.
name label.
Stop.
And I had to update it because she had so many new toys.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So there's Greg, there's
Mhm.
Rainy, there's Donald.
That is so funny. That is so funny. What is
I'll send you a photo later.
What a smart baby.
She is, guess what? It's her birthday today.
Today?
Today's her
Oh
birthday.
my goodness, Piper. Happy
Yes.
birthday.
She's gonna have the best day. She has
yeah.
a little ritual. She gets steak, like human high quality steak and chips. And she
yeah.
has a little candlelit dinner with like off an actual plate.
Oh, she's got it coming. That's
Mhm.
great. That is awesome. That makes me so happy. Well, and a steak dinner. Can't imagine anything better than that. Especially for a
Yeah.
dog, they're like, you can keep your cake. You can keep, those places now
Yeah.
that make, cake for dogs and stuff. It's like,
Mhm.
give your dog a Wagyu steak, give your dog,
Mhm.
give your dog a filet mignon,
Ooh.
Yeah. So good stuff.
Yeah, so good. So I'll make sure to tell her you say hi and
Thank you.
sprinkle
Please
a
do.
bit of and Fred. I can't not
Please do.
forget about Fred.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's still not saying much, but he'll get over it.
He's a shy guy. It's past his bedtime. He's like, Dad, why are the lights on? Why are you on a podcast at like
True.
10 p.m.? So,
That's true. That is true.
I don't blame him. I don't
Yep.
blame him.
Yep, that is true.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be on your podcast. Let's go.
Oh my gosh. I am so grateful that you are here. Like, seriously, it's dream come true, It's like we've come full circle.
I'm so proud of you for bringing this into the world. This is so you. How has it been going so far?
Well, I haven't launched yet. So we are weeks away from launching. And it's been so exciting. Just like, figuring out the tech, because I had to message you when I couldn't get my microphone to work. Remember that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So, we ironed out the kinks. But honestly, like it's so special having you on here because you kind of helped co-create this in a way, like you evoked it out of me in our work together and when I was part of Ascendance. So yeah, it's just, here we are. Who would have thought, a few months later.
Yeah,
it's happening.
I do. It's happening. And I remember the moment that I knew it was happening. And it was when you came to the table with such clarity that this is a phenomenal way to share your voice with the world, and to share your work with the world and share you with the world, who
Yeah.
you are, which is such a big part of what we do. So, yeah, I'm just, good on you for bringing this to fruition and being here. And it's a complete honor. And thank you for the kind words, because I'm just really excited for you.
Thank you. And the feeling's so mutual. I thought the synchronicity actually of like our podcast together airing just days before
Oh, I
we're
know.
recording this too. I was like, oh, Zachary, I see
I
what you
know.
did there.
I know. I'm gonna have to update the description once Resonance is live so that people can go
Mm.
right to it. Because I had a moment when I was writing that little description of our podcast, and I was like, wait a second, I don't think she launched yet. So I was
Oh,
like,
you would have heard
oh
from me if
yeah,
I
I know,
launched.
I know. I was like, oh, we got a special thing coming for you. Stay tuned.
Watch this
So,
space.
yeah, watch the space. Keep coming back to this description of this episode. It'll be updated.
Just listen
Um,
every day. It's like you'll hear something new
yeah,
every time. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
re-listening to a training or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm excited though, and I'll share it on, my Substack and what everything, because I'm excited. So, what are we getting
Thank
into
you.
today, Vic?
Well, look, we are getting into anywhere where this talk
Nice.
takes us because, you're in bed. So
Yes.
it's we're going deep. Like we're going deeply into the subconscious mind here.
Gotcha, gotcha. I
No,
thought
I'm
I
kidding.
thought you meant that in the way of like you're in bed, so like we're just throwing everything out the window, like this is. But yeah, no, deep into the subconscious.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I think we'll just kind of go with the flow, see where things take us. I
Great.
mean, as you helped me figure out, and you now know I really help high achievers, aka what I am, who are struggling with stress, burnout, to just
Yeah.
finally have a breather. And
Uh,
this is what came out of our work together. It's that, I think I remember telling you about that conversation with the CEO where he had that judgment of, well, sure, you can look after yourself and be healthy and be well, but then that means you don't have a career. It's like, no,
yeah. Yeah.
like you can have both.
Gosh, what a limited way of thinking. What
Hmm.
a like that's just, it's like sad when I hear that, like, because
Yeah.
for him that really felt true.
Mm.
Like, my goodness, what a way to be, what a limitation have conditioned into you to believe that it has to be one or the other. So you're
Mm.
showing people that it can absolutely be both.
They can be both, and also to show them like the real, raw, honest path, like
Yeah.
I actually am so excited to hear more about your story because in our
Hmm.
conversations together, there's been a lot of kind of me talking
Mm,
to you, but I know
yeah.
that you also have a bit of history and, you weren't always where you're at today. And these
Yeah.
stories, as I've been interviewing guests, whether they're professionals or just normal people in corporate jobs, are so
Mhm.
inspiring because you see the really real of the
Yeah.
day-to-day struggle and then the moment when things click and shift.
Yes.
Yeah. As we dive in, I think I would be really grateful if you could just give us kind of the headlines of who you are, what you do, where you've come from. I mean, I have you so deeply and nearly to my heart. You're like one of my very close people, but
Yeah.
others listening might be like, who is this guy and what's going on with this energy? Because they're on
Mm.
fire.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. Oh my goodness. It's so funny. It's been a while since I've answered that question or been asked to like just describe who I am, which is interesting. And it's one of those things where I actually, not in this context at all, by the way, but like if
Mm.
I'm at like meeting somebody, making small talk, or like at a little party or gathering, and I get that "what do you do" question, I'm just like, oh man, where do I start?
Yeah.
So what do I do?
Here's my bio.
What do I do? So and as I told you in Ascendance and everything like that, like, if it's a coaching context, I usually will have a pretty concise way of explaining it, in terms of where I am at that time, because my coaching is always evolving alongside
Mm.
me. So I am a coach professionally. I'm a licensed social worker, and I transitioned out of the healthcare industry and the medical paradigm, the medical model, to go into the coaching space, which is vastly different,
Very different.
much more rooted in possibility, much more rooted in strengths, much more rooted in growth than
Mm,
rooted in pathology. Uh,
yes.
and and that's not to say that all therapy is necessarily about that, but if your therapy with, especially within the healthcare model, the medical model, it's all predicated on there being a diagnosis. And a
Mm-hmm.
diagnosis by definition is an impairment in functioning. And so the goal of therapy is a form of treatment to overcome the symptoms of that pathology and restore functioning. That is something that these days does not excite me. Like that, even when I just said that does not excite me.
Yeah.
I want to help people experience an extraordinary quality of life. I want to help people
Yes.
discover the truth of who they are. I
Mm,
want to help people realize what their wildest dreams actually are and then make them come true. I want to help people tap into the frequency of everything they've ever wanted and realize it's available to them right now. That's what I want to do. I'm not
yes.
interested in helping, you know, somebody like improve their score on the PHQ-9. That's like a depression screening. That'll happen, right? And by the way, that doesn't mean I don't still work with people who are depressed or
Mm,
anxious, but my goal with them is not to treat them, because I
mm-hmm.
don't actually believe there's anything to be treated, right?
Yeah.
My goal is to help them step into their full potential and realize just how expansive this reality is and just how much well-being is available to them. So
Yes.
that's what I do. You know, I really help people. I've been saying rediscover themselves, because I
Mm-hmm.
do believe at our core, we I do believe it's something we've forgotten, and that's why the first pillar
Mm-hmm.
of my book is remember. It's about
Mm-hmm.
remembering who you are, because
I've
I
got it right here.
awesome, awesome.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, you have a mirror behind you, and I didn't realize that from my
Did
vantage
that freak
point.
you out?
Yes, it looks like it's a doorway. So when you just moved your head and I saw you, like, Vic, there's someone behind you. Not to freak you out, but somebody is right there. And they're copying you. Yeah.
Oh.
So my that's my book, Notes on Awakening, and the first pillar is remember who you are, because you know,
Mm-hmm.
I believe who we are is source consciousness, and who we are is intimately connected with every single thing that exists, and on some level is everything that exists. So I believe that when we begin from that place of remembrance and we live from that place,
Yeah.
a whole vast world of possibilities, of abundance, of love, of bliss, of freedom becomes available to us.
Mm.
And when you're living in that way, things like depression and anxiety disappear pretty quickly. Um,
Yeah.
so that's my thing. I do that in a private practice, because of I have, as you know, but for your listeners, I have a bit of a reputation in the coaching space. Since I came into that industry, I developed the coaching curriculum for the IIN's health coach training program, alongside a phenomenal team who helped me and also did other parts of the curriculum. And um, and because of that, and because of the visibility in that space and some of the webinars and trainings and podcasts I've done, I do also have coaches reach out to me quite a bit looking for support. And I was very hesitant for a long time to do that. As you know, I didn't want to be a coach coaching coaches, because there's
Make
so many,
20K now.
exactly. Yeah. Are you ready for your 7-figure practice? I saw
What was the
something.
other thing you
Oh
you
my
shared the
God.
other day? It was like, oh, what are your goals with this
Yeah,
podcast?
what are your goals over the next 3 months for? I'm like, dude, just relax. You're talking to the wrong guy, you know.
Yeah.
But and oh my gosh, I saw one the other day. I meant to screenshot it and send it to you, but it disappeared. But it was like, see how I enroll 80 clients a month into my coaching practice.
Oh
And I'm like, what?
What are
I was
you
like,
doing?
you're okay. So that right there tells me you're not coaching, because
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't even make any sense at all. How
Mm-hmm.
you would even work with that many people if you were actually coaching,
Mm-hmm.
So like, it's just funny. So yeah, so I was resistant to it, but I was asked enough times that the signs from the universe really became clear that this was something I can do, but I knew I wanted to do it in my own way. So
Mm.
I do that as well, individually and in small groups. And I do that. I also write. I write. I have the book you mentioned. I write on Substack. I have another book, two books I'm working on. I don't know when they'll be out, but they're coming through.
I'm so
And
excited.
yeah, me too. Me too. And I paint. Uh, I
It's
paint.
your
I do.
original painting right behind you, isn't
Yeah,
it? The
that's
one
one of
that you didn't
mine.
like until you hung it above your bed?
That is precisely the one I didn't like until I hung it above my bed, and I'm like, wait, I really like this.
Mhm.
It just needed to be
Yeah.
in the right location to be valued.
Mm.
Uh, so that's cool. You just said you're excited about the book. I said me too, because writing, very much like painting for me, I do it in a way where I don't really know what it's going to become.
Mm-hmm.
I start a
Yeah.
painting, I have no idea what it's going to become. I'm not trying
Mm.
to paint anything in particular. It's
Mm.
abstract, so it's me moving energy, and 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 trying things out and playing and experimenting, and all of a sudden I'm like, wow, this is awesome. Like, I love this. Depending on how I'm feeling at the time and what's going on for me. Writing is very similar. Like, writing, even like I'm writing a novel right now, which has really been a fun process. And that book, Notes on Awakening, totally just came through me. It wrote
Mm-hmm.
itself. The novel, of course, on here I am thinking, okay, well, the novel, I need the plot, and I need the plot and the scene, and this is
The
exactly how it's going
hero's
to happen.
journey.
Exactly. And I need, to have these chapters mapped out and this outline. And I've really found that it doesn't need to be that way at all. Actually,
Mm.
as I'm writing this novel, I have an idea of where it's going, and it's starting to go some different directions, and I'm allowing it to,
Ooh,
because
spicy.
what I've done with the novel is I've made the characters into people that I know very well. They're all, of course, parts of me,
Mm-hmm.
so I've made them into characters who I know very, very well, and I'm almost
Mm.
letting them live the story.
Oh my God. I want to like read the
Mhm.
manuscript already.
Yeah, yeah,
That sounds just as you said that. Wow.
yeah. So
Mm.
So that's a lot of what I do. I'm very
Mm.
multi-passionate. I have a ton of other hobbies and interests as well, but really those are the core things in my life in terms of my life's work. It's coaching, it's
Hmm.
writing, and it's art.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you for sharing that and for kind of going down that route where, people like you and I generally tend to get quite turned off by that question,
Mhm.
for various reasons, because like, well, I'm not defined by my title and there's so much more to me than what I do. Yeah. And at the same time, as you were sharing,
Mhm.
your passion for coaching, it was like, wow, the
Mhm.
energy, just the way you articulated that
Mhm.
it is so evident, like that is your dharma, like that is
Mhm.
it's incredible, and how you're
That's
weaving
cool.
that in with your artistic expression as well. As I've been watching and celebrating,
Yeah.
from little New Zealand, and it's just so inspiring to see you
Thank
continue
you.
on this path.
Thank you. I really
Mm.
appreciate that reflection. And yeah, I don't, when I have the space to answer that question, like I do here that you've created for me, then I
Hmm.
actually quite enjoy it, because
Yeah.
I do get to notice what you just noticed. Um, it's when I'm in a setting. That's why I love deep conversations. That's why I like this podcast format,
Yes.
because it's
Hmm.
in a setting where you're just sort of the small talk, which I can
Yeah.
play that game, but I can't say everything I just said,
Oh,
like, there's
honestly, I'm
sometimes
so
it's just
bad
not the
at that
time for
game.
that.
I just
Yeah,
opt
yeah,
out. Oh my
yeah,
gosh, it's so
yeah,
many times that
yeah.
like at the office someone will come up and start
Mhm.
talking about something. I'm like, casually exit. Oh, you're gonna love this. Actually, I thought of you when this
Yeah.
happened. You know how like people ask you like, "Oh, how are you?" Yeah, good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah.
So I had this interaction with someone, and then their response to my good, thanks, how are you was good, thanks, how are you? I was like, you literally just asked me that. You kidding me, right?
That's hilarious. You should have just sent it right back.
Like
two
we're just
hours
gonna play ping pong.
2 hours later. Good, thanks. How are you? Good, thanks. How are you? Next thing you
Yeah.
know, the sun's set, it's dark, you know.
You still good? Yeah, you?
Good,
I'm
thanks.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
So, Zach, tell me, you've shared so much about yourself and yourself as a multifaceted human being, incredible person. What's one thing that doesn't show up on your official bio that you'd be comfortable sharing?
Yeah, what doesn't show up on my official bio is I have a business with a friend of mine. We're actually in the process of selling it. And we created a game that's a party game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a twist on Pong. It's a twist on beer pong. It's like a
All
strategic
right.
version of Pong. And
Ooh.
you can play it that doesn't involve, like, none of the rules or the gameplay involves drinking. So you can play with or without alcohol, but it's totally like a fun like party game for getting people together. And it's called the Golden Island Pong with a Twist.
Okay.
And so that is totally something. And again, we're in the process of selling it right now because we tested multiple phases of this launch, and it's in a place where
Mm-hmm.
we can totally get it in the hands of someone who can take it to the next level. And
Mm-hmm.
the reason we're selling it is also because, like, if we were to continue to grow it, we would really need to be putting all of our time and energy into it.
Yeah.
And for both of us, like, that we did this as a fun little side project, like a fun creative, like we've always made up games together. Like we're friends since high school. So we would hang
Mm-hmm.
out and we rented an Airbnb one time, and in the shed they had like a soccer ball, like 3 hula hoops and a frisbee, and we made an
Mm-hmm.
entire game, that we played for like the
Wow.
whole day. So that's kind of like our how
So
we
good.
how we vibe. So,
Uh-huh.
and we've always enjoyed that. So for us it was just a fun little project that is really, neither of us are interested in making that like our life's work or dedicating,
Yeah.
so that's, it doesn't show up. I hardly ever mention it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of those things that feels very incongruent. Yeah, again, for the people who really know me, they know that, oh, it's really not, because I absolutely love to play games and have a good
Yeah.
time and like all that stuff. So it's really not, but it doesn't show up in a lot of these types of
Yeah.
conversations. Certainly not
Yeah.
something I put on my bio.
Sign up here and get your free copy of
Exactly. Exactly.
Golden
Pong
Island
with a
Pong.
twist. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, yeah. So that would probably be one thing. I Similarly, I've had these like kind of little fun creative projects before. I had a t-shirt company for a while
Ooh.
that was inspired by, do you remember the Dos Equis Most Interesting Man in the World commercials?
Look, I grew up in a third world country, so my commercials were all in Polish.
Even better. That's very on brand, actually. So these commercials were, I'm sure a lot of your listeners will know, these commercials were like this guy, this like older, interesting looking guy who's like, I don't always drink beer, but when I do, I prefer Dos Equis. And the
Mm.
commercials are ridiculous. Like they're like, his mom has a tattoo that reads son, and like these types of like things,
Yeah.
his blood smells like cologne, like these so it was inspired by those because I thought it would be so funny to have t-shirts that are from, when people go to like an event, a concert, a fair, whatever, like they can get, merchandise or a t-shirt. That would be so fun to have t-shirts that are just so ridiculous, that are
Mhm.
from events that never happened. and things
Oh
that
my
never
God.
occurred. So, and to this day, I still have a couple of the shirts and I absolutely love them. And they're exactly what I wanted. Like they're these amazing conversation starters,
Yeah.
not that I'm always in the mood for that, but like I wanted them
But
to
like,
be
come on, if
something
you're putting it
people
on,
look
you know
at.
what you're up for, right?
Exactly. I wanted them to be something people look at and they're like, what? Like, so I have one that's like, annual 4th of July alpaca shearing champion. And it just has a packet of shears. I have
Oh my
another
God.
one that says Mallorca men's swimsuit competition, 6th place.
Wow. Oh my God.
Yeah. So that was so
That's so good.
fun. That was so fun. And things that don't make sense, like Mojave Desert Scuba Diving Club, and like things that just make no sense. So it's just I had so much fun with that, and I designed them, just like they were proper t-shirts. Had a good time. But again, one of those things where like it's just been a little fun side thing that doesn't exist anymore. I don't have it anymore. But it's just been a fun little thing, way to like channel the part of me that is creative in like a humorous way, or like a playful way, like a way for me to really channel that. And so that was a good time. I enjoyed that.
That's so good.
Yeah. I wanted to take it to a place, as I'm talking about, I'm like, who knows, maybe one day. I wanted to take it to actually where the shirts themselves became like really scarce, like they weren't just all available online, like there were only a certain amount, so that people, like, and then maybe charge like more than a t-shirt should cost. But so the idea was like only a few people could have a version of each one. And I wanted to send them out with like a hand written letter. The guy's name behind the shirts was Kaz Rabunadab, which is my Rabunadab, which is my last name, my whole name backwards, Kaz Rabunadab. And so the idea was that he was like this guy who was out having these adventures and, getting, and these are like shirts from his closet or from his experiences. So I wanted to send them out with like a handwritten thing about how this happened, and these ridiculous stories. But again, just fun stuff. This stuff doesn't come up in conversation, never mentioned on a podcast, but they're things that I've created and dabbled in that have like really, really been enjoyable.
I've got a follow-up question to that.
Yeah.
Does I'm going to butcher this, Rabunadab show up in your novel?
No.
Maybe I don't know. It just feels like this alter ego of yours, like this dual reality personality, almost that you're like channeling. But I love this. Like, it sounds so fun. And thank you for sharing this, because I'd pay premium for the Mallorca men's championship 6th place t-shirt.
The 6th place absolutely kills me. Has a picture of a Speedo on the front. Has a picture. It's a map or it's a outline like what you would see on a map of Mallorca with a Speedo on top of it, and then it just says 6th place. And gosh, that one kills me. That one is so funny. It's a tank top. I wear it to the gym sometimes. Yeah.
That's good. Wow. Yeah. I mean, I'm so grateful that you are opening up this kind of door to you that I don't often get to see, and probably not many people get to see,
No, they don't.
If you're enjoying this episode and want to stay connected beyond the podcast, I would love to invite you to join my newsletter. It is a soft little pause in your inbox, an email that you actually want to read, sharing reflections, wellness wisdom, and seasonal insights to really help you slow down and come back to yourself. You'll also be the first one to hear about new offerings, events, upcoming episodes of Resonance, and so much more. The links are right below this in the show notes. You can sign up through my website, liveandhealth.co, or by heading to any of my socials at liveandhealth. Links are in my bio. It is free, it is gentle, and always created with care. Now, back to the episode. And I was wondering actually when you started Golden Island
Mm-hmm.
Pong with a
With a
twist. Did I get
twist,
that
yeah.
right? With
Mm-hmm.
a
Yep.
twist.
Yep.
Yeah. Was that like in the Margarita Manhattan meditation days or
No, no,
no?
that was a bit later. Yeah, that was a
Okay.
bit later. Yeah, no, because again, like it's a game, like it's actually even a game that came out of like how little I drink, right? Or I no longer do. Like I still
Mm,
enjoy at a party, like playing a game of Pong. A lot of people do. It's very nostalgic, and
yeah.
we were like,
It's really fun to be
it's
honest.
fun
Like,
and it's nostalgic, and it's like,
yeah.
we were just like, what if we brought this back in like a new way that's a little
Mm-hmm.
more like involves some strategy and involves like some point, like different things, and it's kind of fun
Mm-hmm.
and it's different, and that's one of our like part of our marketing was like it's nostalgic and new at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And again, drinking's not a part of it, and just like anything, people can turn Uno into a drinking game, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah. I
people,
mean
like
anything. Yeah.
anything, right? The
Yeah.
news. So like, you don't have to
Yeah.
drink. Of course some people do enjoy that when they play, but no, that was a different, that was a little bit later.
Well, I'll keep an eye out. I might try and see if I can, get myself an OG version before they're like 10 times the price,
Yeah,
and
there
I
you
don't know,
go.
like Hasbro takes over, and who
Yeah,
knows
yeah,
what's gonna
yeah.
happen,
That
you
would be
know?
that would be cool. Yeah, we're looking at something big like that. We've had
Mm.
conversations, preliminary conversations with like some big retailers. I guess I'm realizing I probably shouldn't say their names. I was but like just a couple, like really early
Yeah.
conversations where again we saw like there was potential in that space, but
Mm.
we're like we're not really the ones to get it there. Once you actually get into that world and you get to the logistic part of it, of the
Yeah.
manufacturing, the shipping, the distribution, the warehousing, the pipeline.
Mm.
Oh my goodness. All like
Wow.
that was a whole thing where I was like, okay, again, I know I can learn this. I know I can do
Mm.
this. I don't want to. I'm not
Mm.
interested in that. I
Yeah.
mean, I'd like to create. I like to create. We created it.
Hmm.
Cool. Somebody else
Yeah.
can take it who's well versed in that world and they can run with it, you know?
Yeah. But this isn't for me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And this isn't the first time that this has happened for you. All right. I think many times in life, I know one of just recently where there's
Yeah.
been a time where you kind of in that situation where, ooh, maybe what I'm doing right now, this was right at one point, and you've kind of graduated. I was
Yeah.
actually thinking of you as I was walking Piper earlier today. You know how like trees lose their bark and then they come with this like really slick, gliding kind of new inner layer and the old one has to fall away. I was thinking of like our conversations. I'm like, wow, like that feels like what's happening here as
Yes.
well.
Yeah, very much
Mm,
so. Yeah, it's a continual process. It's a
mm,
continual process. Um,
yeah.
you know, I have to say, I really, there's certain things where like, what did I was saying before, like coaching, writing, and art are like the
Mm,
big kind of pillars of my work. And I don't see them going anywhere. Like they are
mm-hmm,
so core to who I am. I
mm-hmm,
don't see those going anywhere. And then there's other things that are more like almost side projects, even
mm-hmm,
though the job was not a side project. It was taking up a lot of my time and energy, but of course it was tied to coaching, right? So I'm
mm-hmm.
still doing that just in my own way. Um, so the I guess what I'm saying is I know there will be a lot of things in my life that continue to come and go. Um, I can say right now that coaching, writing, and art feels like they're going to be always a part of my life, but if I mean, I also have to be open to the possibility that maybe they're not, and
Yeah.
maybe things grow in another direction,
Mm,
because my life has showed me that. So we'll see, but I
yeah.
like it. And the one thing I don't try to do anymore is hold on, to those things, to anything, and I no longer really cling to too many aspects of my identity. I don't even cling
Mm-hmm.
to my identity itself. Again, like if
Yeah.
anybody knows me, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, Zack, like, oh, that's funny, just a series of like letters and a sound that I
Mm-hmm.
respond to. Like I'm not
Mm-hmm.
Zack, and I don't even really consider myself to ultimately be this human form. So I'm not, if I'm
Mm-hmm.
not really that attached to my identity as a whole, I'm certainly not going to be attached to aspects of it. And all these things are
Exactly.
aspects of it, and they're going to
Yes.
come and go and change just like everything else in nature does. Like you said, just
Yes.
like those trees do. Hmm.
Yes. Just like the snake sheds its skin, right? And
Exactly.
I mean, you have such a strong self-awareness, which I've shared with you before, but also I know you have like a really strong spiritual practice. You're very, dare I say, evolved in this space, right? And that was an evolution throughout your journey. But even now, as the ego tends to take over, because as much as we know we're kind of separate from this
Yeah.
physical body and the mind, sometimes there are times when the ego kind of runs its course and gets us into the thinking and all,
Yeah.
but this is so important and oh, what if I sell this business, blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
Tell me how you come back to coherence and alignment with what's right for you. Because, and I think I shared this with you when you spoke to me about your recent kind of transition. I was like, I was in such admiration because I know how hard it can be to
Right.
look at it honestly and to make that decision. And so I'd just love to hear from you, like,
Yeah.
how do you make those choices and how do you tap into what's true for you?
Yeah. So one is that I have very little fear
Mm,
and of any particular outcome. And the only reason I can say that is because I have a profound level of
mm-hmm,
trust in the universe, in
mm,
trust in life itself, and trust in myself. So I see
mm,
those almost as different levels. Like I think trust in ourselves is more like confidence, right? Like I'm confident in my ability to navigate my life and make decisions and find a path forward and whatever it is. Um, but that larger trust, I call it spiritual trust. That
yeah.
trust in everything. That trust in this very
Mm,
experience that I'm living and that's unfolding. Like I have so much trust in that, and trust is the antidote to fear. So
mm,
a very little fear, and when there is a very little fear, the ego can relax a little bit because the ego
mm-hmm.
always wants to protect us, right? So if it has nothing to protect us from, it can wind down a little bit. And when
Yes.
it winds down a little bit and it calms down a little bit, it it doesn't overshadow as much of our intuition.
Mm,
It doesn't overshadow what we're feeling. So many of us are so caught up, the ego is so loud and the thoughts in our head are so loud. Uh, and a lot of it is coming from a place of fear, scarcity, lack,
mm-hmm.
that it's so noisy that it's hard to pay attention to what's underneath all of that noise,
Yes.
which is the realm of our felt intuition, our heart, our gut.
Yeah.
And so it's because my ego is a bit relaxed, I'll say, uh, that I feel like I have much more direct access to how I feel about a particular situation, and what I feel is right for me. I call that like no with a capital K, right? So
Yeah.
I feel like that brings me into that knowing, which is a
Mm-hmm.
feeling, it's not a thought. And
Mm.
so I trust that feeling, and I listen to that
Yeah.
feeling without increasingly, because it's, of course, I don't do it perfectly, but increasingly without the need to rationalize it, justify it,
Mm.
weigh all the options, talk myself into or out of something. Like more and more, I just live from that place. And I don't feel the need to add a whole bunch of cognitive narratives on top of it. You
Yeah.
know, I just feel
Yeah.
it's right or I feel it's not right. And
Mm-hmm.
I listen to that and I trust the rest. That's why
Yeah.
like that my one of my like life mottos is follow your heart and find out.
Mm-hmm.
I just find out.
Yeah.
And so far, I mean, shit, the more I do this, the more I really like finding out, because
Yeah.
it's usually even more epic than my little ego could have dreamt up.
Right? Like that's the thing. It's
Yeah.
like we are limiting ourselves with this potentiality that we only conjure up in our imagination. And yet when
Yeah.
we, as you say, follow the heart and find out, it's I always say, like, may this or something even better manifest.
Mhm.
It's like, because you don't know
Mhm.
what the universe has got in store for you. You've got no idea how good it can get. Just the better it gets, the better it gets,
Totally,
right?
totally.
Mm,
That's like the abundance vortex. And then you enter into that, and then you're like, oh, cool. I act on what's right for me. Things work out. Awesome. Things worked out. That makes me more likely to act on what's right for me. I act on things work out, and boom, 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 boom. Right. And then all of a sudden you can even just up level that, or not just
hmm
things work out better than I ever could have imagined, and you start to then experience a reality that's akin to that. And, your eyes become open to all of the ways that life is really
mm,
conspiring in your favor, and you can
yeah.
start to see it all around you. And any sort of external abundance, uh, to me, is like, how do I put this? You have a lot of people who, one, when they talk about abundance, they mean finances, right?
Mm,
And they believe that a certain financial situation will make them feel abundant. Meanwhile, so one, they're separate from abundance because they're feeling like it's missing and they need something in order to experience
mm,
it. And because of that, they are missing all of the ways in which life is inherently abundant. Their life is
yeah.
inherently abundant. They are supported, right? The amount of factors that come together to support their existence is something we can't even comprehend, right? And the fact that
Yes.
everything had to happen exactly the way it happened for 13.8 billion years for you to be right here, right now, like, and you're telling me that a certain amount of money is going to make you feel abundant? Like, give me a
Uh-huh.
break,
Uh-huh.
like, give me a
Yes.
break. So we
Yes.
tap into that frequency now, and then paradoxically, you're more likely to then manifest that external abundance in whatever way, shape, or
Yeah.
form it wants to come. And it may be different than
Mm,
exactly what your ego thought. That is, to me, that's epic. And
mm,
so much of this path really is like a paradox, a catch 22. I don't really know the right term for it, but it's like it comes when you no longer need it to. And you
yeah.
no longer need it to when you feel it right now. You have access to it right now. So everything else becomes secondary. Everything else
Mm-hmm.
becomes bonus.
Mm-hmm.
Else tends to show up. And even if it doesn't, you're good. So it really doesn't matter. And
Yeah.
that's a great way to get out of that
Exactly.
ego's trap of like, oh, I have to feel abundant now because then I'll actually get what I want. Like, no, that's just
No.
transactional, right? No, you
Mm-hmm.
really have to feel it now to the extent where it doesn't even matter if you have
Yeah.
whatever it is or not, you know?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's your secret? How do you get into that state of abundance now? I mean, I'm
Hmm.
just thinking someone who doesn't practice this on a daily, this might seem so abstract.
Yeah.
So like, tell me, how do
Yeah.
you tap into that
Hmm.
infinite abundance that is available to you at every
Hmm.
moment?
Well, for me, I've started to do this so much and recognize it all around me and tap into it so much that it's becoming more and more of my set point. Because
Mm-hmm.
we talk about neuroplasticity, but that also includes our emotional experience. We can change our emotional set point, and we can
Yeah.
condition ourselves into new ways of feeling, not just thinking, but new ways of feeling. And so I've largely done that over the course of a long time. But I would say I do this with sometimes a lot of new clients. Is just it's not groundbreaking, but when you actually understand what's
Mm.
going on, it kind of is, of whatever it is that they believe is going to make them feel the way they want to feel.
Mm-hmm.
Go into a visualization practice, right?
Yeah.
Close your eyes, feel yourself having it
Mm.
right now. What would it be like?
Mm-hmm.
What would you feel like? What would you breathe like? Right? What is your reality like? And you're starting to tap into that frequency, and you're doing it through the power of imagination. I believe that our imagination is a God given creative power. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm not inside the brain of any other animal. I don't think any other animal has an imagination. Like,
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think so, right? I don't even think they have
Mm,
much of a past and future, right? We have this
yeah.
amazingly developed brain that, can think abstractly about life
Mm-hmm.
rather than what's just here, for better or worse. So I'm like, all right, let's use that feature, like, rather than a bug. Let's use that as a superpower to imagine whatever it is you want is here right now, and then you can
Yes.
directly access that feeling right now, and then you can start
Yeah.
to, through that creative power that you have, and then you can become familiar with it. And the more
Mm,
you do that, the more you start to condition your body and your mind to be in that state, and then the
yeah.
less you need to, like, really consciously try, you
Yeah.
know but that's it. So that could be as easy as that. And
Mm,
I think that's amazing. To me, that's like tuning a radio station,
mm-hmm.
into the channel you want. To me, that's kind of what it's like. The
Yes.
antenna's your imagination, and you're like, how do I feel right now? Cool. Okay, what would make me feel that way? Oh, that. Let me just imagine that's happening, and boom, I
Mm-hmm.
feel that way right now. So when people come out of that, I'm just like, what? Like, what just happened? What
Mm-hmm.
just happened? Did you just realize that you actually have access to that very feeling you want right now, which also means you have access to everything you want right now, because everything
Yes.
we want is a state of being, is a feeling. The mind just has different ways
Mm,
we believe it'll get there, right?
mm-hmm.
Which is, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
based on past experience, is based on the way we've been told that'll make us feel, right? Or the way we've seen or observed. Meanwhile, we all have access to this. I know we talked about this in
Yes.
our episode on the Self Explorers Club. Like, we all have access to this right now, and we can experience that directly through the power of our imagination.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. Because we have that unique ability, as you say, to create our reality, to
Yeah.
envision a different possibility.
Yes.
And some teachings that I've heard as well, again, to your point, can't validate it because I've, at least in this lifetime, haven't been a dog
Yeah.
or any other animal. But apparently, human beings are also the only creatures who are able to shift their frequency on demand. So their emotional state, which is again that radio tuning
Yeah.
fork that you've been speaking
Yeah.
about,
How awesome is
and
that?
to experience the full spectrum of emotion
Yeah.
as well. Right?
Mm,
Like how cool is
yes.
that?
Yes. Yeah, we do. We have such a rich, diverse emotional landscape. That's fun. And when you learn to
Hmm.
enjoy all colors of that palette,
Mm,
and just really experience the raw sensation of it and
yeah.
welcome all of it, yeah, life takes on a totally different direction.
Yeah. So, if I were to take kind of your experience and your innate ability to create your reality, right? And let's say, like, I'm a brand new client and
Uh-huh.
I am, I know it's bedtime. Don't worry. I'll let you go, Betty. Bye soon. It's like, it's all right. I'm watching the clock. Do you want me to tuck you in?
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks.
I've
Yeah,
got a little wheat bag I can warm up for you if you're cold.
yeah, yeah. No, I'm locked in. Don't let my lawn, dear goodness.
What was that?
Don't let my yawn fool you. I'm locked in. Okay, so if you were a new client of
So
mine,
if I was a new client and
mhm,
I was coming to you lost, unsure, overwhelmed, effing stressed out, like I didn't even know where to begin. You know those people, like they
yeah,
wake up and they probably snooze the alarm
mhm,
30 times and then they're like rolling out of bed, they're already
yeah,
late,
yeah.
coffee spilling on the white shirt, just like
Oh, you're
everything's
really
falling
you're
apart,
really using
right?
that imagination right here.
I
Yeah.
am using that
Yeah.
imagination because also I've been there. I like mentally traveled
You're
back,
like memory. Maybe that's memory, actually, Zach.
Hashtag memes.
Yeah, yeah. Memes. That's a mem right there.
That's a
Yeah.
meme.
So that
Oh,
person comes to me that you just described. The white sheets have coffee all over them. Where
yes.
do they start?
Where do they
Yeah,
start? They're like, Zach, I need help, but I don't know where to start.
we
Mm-hmm.
start 100% with the present moment,
Mm,
and we realize, and we enter into it, and we
mm,
realize just how much peace and stillness is available to us right now,
Mm-hmm.
right? And how much of so many of the things that are stressing us out exist in the activity of the mind,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they exist in time. So
Yeah.
we enter into the present moment and we free ourselves of those things. It doesn't mean we don't have to come back to them. It doesn't mean we're not going to address them, but we give ourselves respite,
Yeah.
because that's what's most needed in that moment of chaos and overwhelm, is to slow down. And that's why a lot of my coaching sessions begin with presence, because
Mm-hmm.
I know people's lives, and I know that a lot of times they are going from one thing to the next, and sometimes that next thing is a session with me. So
Mm-hmm.
we absolutely have to take that time to immerse ourselves in the present moment to make the most of our time together, you
Yeah.
know. So yeah. And universally, I mean, I have a client right now who I work with in a little bit of a unique way. She really doesn't want coaching. She really doesn't hire me for coaching. We meet together
Mm-hmm.
every other week for a half hour,
Mm-hmm.
and we just do a guided meditation,
Oh,
and we just
yes.
drop in together. And for her, that is
Mm.
and it's all centered around present moment.
Mm-hmm.
And for her, that is such a that is such like a relief, and
Yeah.
that is such a value. She's a really high performing executive, probably right up your alley in terms of, somebody
Mm.
you'd love to work with. And that is something she values so much, that having that
Mm-hmm.
time, having that on her calendar, is something,
Mm-hmm.
is what she wants. And
Yeah.
and every time she's like, oh, that's nice. Oh, this is really nice. Like, oh yeah, I forgot that this is available to me right now. Thank
Yeah.
you for reminding me. Thank you for showing
Yeah.
me. Thank you for taking me back into that. Because I always
Mm.
tell people, I'm like, you don't need me to do that, right? I can help, but I can facilitate. But you
Yeah.
did that. Yeah,
But yes and no, right? Because where she is at right now, right? We always talk about meeting people where they are. She does need you because you provide the accountability. Like if that was just a reminder on the calendar, that's easily
sure,
deleted. Versus
sure.
here is someone showing up for me who is
Hmm.
holding this space for me. And also, you have a very distinct energy about you that I'm like, oh yeah, I would jump onto a grounded meditation with you every fortnight, anytime.
Hmm.
So, yes, it is available to her at all times. And the additional value and permission
Yeah,
slip that you are providing
yeah,
is
yeah.
huge.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. I think I mean need in more of like a macro way, like almost like,
Yeah.
like presence is available to you. It's not only
Yeah.
through me, and I think you're spot on at this particular time and
Mm.
this context. Like that is a need I'm meeting for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
Like I hear you there. This is it's really special. It's really
Mm.
special because it's, to me, what's so special about it is how simple it is.
Mm.
And just like just like I know, just like our clients know, simple is not easy. I
Mm.
should say simple is not always easy.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes when it comes to this, sometimes I even gently challenge that,
Mm-hmm.
because she'll come out. I know I was the one to say it, but I want to acknowledge that people can hear this and say it's easier said than done, right?
Mm-hmm.
And kind of feel like that. And whenever I come out of those meditations with that client of mine, it's like, oh, that actually was easy.
Mm-hmm.
That was easy. It was actually the letting go. Like your work is
Mm-hmm.
so much about that too, right? It was actually the
Yeah.
letting go of the effort and the striving and the willingness and the,
Mm.
all of that stuff. It was letting
Mm-hmm.
go of that. It was actually the easiest thing ever, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It was ease itself. That's what we did together, you know. But you're right. It's all the stuff that surrounds it. It's, you know, the accountability. It's remembering those things. It's making time for those things in your day, making them a
Yeah.
regular part of your life, making them a
Mm-hmm.
consistent practice. Just like any behavioral change, that is
Mm-hmm.
challenging for sure.
It is
Yeah.
challenging. And I think, especially for people like your client that you've described, you know, if
Yeah.
you're constantly going from meeting to meeting, and, you know, I always think of like Newton's law of physics that object in motion stays in motion,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
right? And so
Yeah.
you need something to stop it. Like you just
Yes.
stop,
Oh, that's so good. That's what it is.
right?
That's what it is. I'm the equal opposite force.
Exactly.
I
Exactly.
love that you just said that in like describing again a lot of the people you work with, right? It's like
Mm,
go, go, go. You're helping them slow down, find that balance, or take care of themselves. Um, when I was working with people with depression a lot, I also
mm,
used that an object at rest will stay at rest. You know, like that to
mm-hmm,
me was like they were an object at rest, you
mm-hmm.
know, and in terms of just a lack of motivation, a lack of momentum in their lives.
Yeah.
And then to your point, we can also be on the other end of the spectrum. Way too
Yeah.
much. We haven't slowed down in weeks, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, it comes
we,
back to the nervous system, right? It's
yeah,
like that hypo and hyper arousal.
yes,
And at the end of the
yes,
day, it's just bringing, like, this is what resonance is about. This is why I
yeah.
named the podcast Resonance. It's like bringing
Oh,
your
I love
nervous system into resonance and alignment.
it. I love it.
Everything falls out and into
Yeah.
place from there. And if you're not too sleepy, I do have one more question that I would love to
Okay.
hear your lens on before we kind
Okay.
of tie things up. Is that all right?
Yeah, let's
You
do it.
good? Or are you kind of like,
I'm
Fred's
good.
like, Dad?
I'm real good. Trust me.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Hmm.
Um, so you mentioned earlier presence, and I agree with you. It is so important. And I really want to hear your side of this, being, you know, someone who's also worked in the medical kind of, you're a licensed social worker. You've
Yeah.
been very much in that space.
Yeah.
What if presence feels dangerous to someone? Like, what if it's too scary to be with what is? Because I don't know about you, but I've definitely felt that, where it was like I started my meditations with like a 1 minute, and that was already a lot. Because when you're going about your life for decades, suppressing and pushing everything away, and all of a sudden you stop, you start to open some floodgates
Hmm.
that perhaps need a little bit more help and guidance and
Yeah.
titration.
My raw and honest
Mm,
take on that is that, and you know, coming from the field that I've come from, there
mm,
was always so much, you know, talk about like re-traumatizing somebody, right? Or
mm.
like, you know, going to a place that they, you know, they can't handle, and this and that. And I have, you know, in our field, we talk about unconditional positive regard. And I
Mhm.
have incredible, not only unconditional positive regard for the people I work with, but unconditional positive belief in what they're capable of.
Yeah.
And I believe that we are capable of feeling
Mm.
whatever it is that's here to be felt. I also believe in the incredible intelligence of the body and of the beings that we're in to not give us more than we can handle
Yes,
at a given
preach.
time. So I
Mhm.
truly believe that that is something. And of course, working with someone who can help you, can support with this process. But I do believe that if we stay connected with our breath and connected to the felt sensation without going into resistance in the mind, fear in the mind, um, any sort of stories that make it worse than it actually is,
Mhm.
and we just stick with the felt sensation,
Yeah.
it may be uncomfortable, absolutely, but I do not think it is more than we can handle.
Mm.
And that's been my
Yeah.
experience. I, you know, again, like I am not saying, I'm not naive enough to say that maybe in some cases that doesn't feel true. you know.
Mm-hmm.
But that's been my experience both with
Mm.
myself and with other people, and I do believe the body does not give us more than we can handle, and I believe that about life too,
Yeah.
by the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yes. I
And if it
think
does, it's trying to show us something, you know. Yeah.
then it's showing you
Hmm.
that maybe you can handle more than you thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But if I look at somebody and I regard them as God in human form, and some people
Mm.
might regard that as a controversial statement, but if I see them as source consciousness, right, as a
Mm.
manifestation of universal intelligence, then I have to believe they're capable of feeling what's here to be seen, felt, and heard.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To explore that full spectrum of emotions. I'm
Yeah.
beaming right now because like I just know that we're seeing each other as that as well. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, wow, like talk
Yeah.
about, you know, imagining the life of your wildest dreams and it manifesting
Exactly.
into reality right here, right now.
Exactly.
Like here it
Exactly.
is. And thank you for naming that the fact that your body won't give you more than you can handle,
Mm-hmm.
because that is also my experience. And if we're staying in our intuition and that felt sensation of what is right, and we don't get into the thinking mind of like trying to push and go
Yes.
harder,
Yes.
then you likely will just let in what needs to come
Yes.
at that
Let
moment.
in, let it move, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
everybody who's experienced these things, including like grief, that comes
Yeah.
in waves. It comes in
Yeah.
waves, and you can handle each wave.
Mm-hmm.
You can be with each wave. It won't be
Yeah.
forever. And
Yeah.
actually doing that allows it to move quicker,
Exactly. Yes.
So again, another one of those things that's like a paradox, right? It's like, oh, actually, when we don't want to feel it, we perpetuate it, right? But when we do
Mm-hmm.
feel it, we actually allow it to move.
Yeah.
When we want it to be gone, it stays. And when we welcome it, it goes.
Exactly. It's like that energy. Well, what is emotion? It's just energy and emotion. It just wants to move
Exactly.
through you
Exactly.
and then off it
Exactly.
goes
Off
into
it
something
goes.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? But it goes into into
Mm.
into the field. Mm-hmm.
Into the field. And energy never
Yeah.
dies, it just
Mm-hmm.
transforms. So who knows?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow. Mm. My goodness. I mean, I could keep going for hours, but like I just feel so conscious of I don't know what's your bedtime? I mean, just random question.
Oh gosh, like 2 a.m.
Really? Are you a night
Mhm.
owl?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Oh.
100%. I'll make that earlier when I have to be up early, because I do value my sleep.
Oh.
But left to my own devices, 2 a.m.
That's
Hmm.
so. Do you know your dosha type?
Pitta.
Yeah, I see that. Interesting. Thank you for sharing that. I'm a Vata, and I'm like in bed by 9 o'clock. That's already.
I'm
That's-
I have on my podcast Dr. Sheila Patel from Chopra on Thursday, so I'll be
Mhm.
talking to her about all things Ayurveda, and
Oh,
I'm looking forward to it. And certainly, I'm sure doshas will come up.
I look
Yeah,
forward to hearing that one.
thank you.
And
Yeah,
everything that's coming in your life. I
yeah,
mean, your
right
art,
on.
everything. And as I guess as we wrap,
Hmm.
I have a signature question because I was like,
Okay.
that's pretty cool. I want a signature question to close
Yeah,
off an episode, because
yeah.
high achiever, hello.
Yeah,
Um,
gotta have a signature
um,
question.
gotta
Signature question for Q3. Yeah.
make sure it's aligned with the cycle of the moon and the sea. No.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
out of our chat today and, taking yourself into the shoes of most likely the listeners here just being in that overwhelmed, stressed out, burnt out state. If there was just one thing that they could take away from our conversation today, what do you wish that would be?
It would be to connect with the truth of who they are, because so much of that activity of, whether it be rushing, overworking, constant striving, so much of that is rooted in scarcity, lack, and inadequacy. And those three things are completely opposite to who you really are. And when you take the time to connect with that and then you live from that place, those things often address themselves. They often address themselves because they're not needed. You're no longer living as this isolated, fragmented ego that's separate from the whole, that needs to prove itself, that needs to, constantly achieve, that needs to strive to adopt to somebody else's model and somebody else's version of success, who has to rush everywhere, who has to ignore themselves and their own well-being in order to perform. No longer need to play any of those games. And if you do choose to play some of those games, it won't be at the expense of your well-being and your peace and your harmony. So that's really it. To me, that's it. It's really taking time to connect with what is beyond you and still really, in essence, exactly who you are.
That is so powerfully said, Zack. A writer, and I think he could also very much just be, I don't know, is there like verbal poets, like out loud, people who write with their words in real time?
You cut out again. Is there verbal what? I missed that part.
No. It's okay. My brain was like rebooting as well.
Like, my brain cut out too. Yeah.
Like, you're a writer, but also like you are so eloquent with your words. A speaker. That's it. I was like, is there like oh my God.
Well done.
I was like, is there like a word for writer, but with your words?
I'm not doing right now.
Okay, maybe my bedtime too. My goodness. Zack, where can people find you if they want to listen to your podcast, get your book, work with you? Please share. I mean,
right on. Yeah. So everything will be, accessible through zackbodenweber.com. That'll kind of point you in any direction that you're interested in when it comes to exploring my work. On Instagram, it's Zack _Bodenweber. And also Substack is where I write and also have the podcast. So it is on Apple, it is on Spotify, but I publish it right to Substack. And that's also where my writing lives. So that is substack.com. I believe /Zack Bodenweber, something like that, but you'll find me there too. And if you go to my
we'll
website,
link it all up.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'll put it all in the show notes. And don't forget about Zack Paul's studio as well. Excuse me.
Zack Paul's studio.
Come on, how can you?
That's where my art is. So if you're interested in like specifically looking at my artistic stuff, my painting and all of that, you can do that too. Zack Paul Studio. And that's also zackpaul.com, ZACK Paul.com. So
and Paul's your middle name?
Yeah, Paul's my middle name. Yep.
And where's Bodenweber from?
Germany.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
How far back?
I don't know the details, unfortunately. Yeah. I am curious though. But
I don't know if you know this, but I grew up in Germany. I've got a German passport. Yeah. I was wondering where you're from.
Yeah.
Like,
Germany.
Ancestrally.
Yeah, Bodenweber.
There you go.
Yeah. So.
Mystery to be solved.
I think so.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vic. It was such a pleasure to be on Resonance.
It is always such an honor and a privilege to share space with you. Like, my cup is so full. My eyes are tearing up again, as they do for some weird reason. Most times when I speak to you, you just have that effect on people. You just make me cry. Happy tears.
Thank you.
And for igniting the first Pillow Talk episode on Resonance. This might become a thing. Who knows?
There we go. I'm happy to run it back anytime. That's how the time zones are working. So I'm happy to
Yeah.
do it anytime.
Love it.
All right.
Love it. Amazing. Well, have a good sleep. Don't stay up too late.
No promises.
And
You have a
thank you
great day
so,
yourself.
so much. Yes, I will. Sending so much love to you. Oh,
Thank you, Vic.
thank you.
Talk to you soon, my friend.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
And that is a wrap, my friends. I mean, I don't know about you, but I feel so inspired and so lit up after this conversation. And Zach's, one of his life mottos, this follow your heart and find out, it just resonates so strongly because, like, when has your heart ever been wrong, right? Like, when has anyone told you, like, the acceptance speeches at the Grammys or the Olympic gold medalist being like, oh, I just listened to what was in my head. Like, no. It's like, follow your heart. And I think that's so, so powerful, alongside the invitation to connect with the truth of who you are, because all of a sudden everything becomes so much clearer as you allow that to come through. So as you let this episode kind of sink in and integrate, the action step that I would have for you is to get curious and perhaps tap into your heart and ask it what it would want. I will link up a little download just below this video if you would like me to guide you through a brief little mindfulness moment that'll help you connect to your heart and help you find out what it might have to say. So that's a really nice and easeful, accessible, connected way for you to start to explore this work. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. I will see you soon. Bye for now. Lots of love. Okay, quick pause. Let's just take a brief moment to take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. How yummy is that? Hey, if mindfulness has ever felt confusing or too hard to start, I created a free online course called Live in Presence, 8 Days of Mindfulness, to help you come back to yourself gently. You can sign up for free using the link in the show notes below at liveandhealth.co or through the link in my bio at Live and Health. The views and opinions expressed by guests on Resonance are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of me, Viktoria Levenberg, Live in Health, or anyone working within the Live in Health brand. This space welcomes a diversity of ideas, experiences, and stories, and part of Resonance is learning to take what aligns and gently leaving the rest. Also, while I am a national board-certified health and wellness coach and deeply passionate about well-being, this podcast is intended for educational and inspirational purposes only. Resonance does not substitute personalized medical, psychological, or therapeutic advice. Always seek guidance from qualified professionals for any physical, emotional, or mental health concerns.